Questions?
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Chorek. It's 1111 Lowell Street. I own George's Roofing, and we went through the design review process about 6 years ago. Everybody's talking about improving it, and the reason I'm here is the article that was in the paper that said that to the best, and I didn't bring it with me, I'm sorry, to the best of everybody's knowledge, the design review process has not cost any contract or any businessmen money, and I disagree. I had my building professionally designed by an architect, and we came to the meeting, and the original structure, was approved, but the materials, we're talking about brick, and everything around me, if anybody on the panel is familiar with Lowell Street, everything around me is metal pole barns. And I was told that it had to be a brick structure, or a masonry structure. And for 30 plus years we were out in the township, and we really wanted to move into the city to have a greater exposure for our business. So I bowed to the demands of design review and spent almost $85,000 more to put up my building. That was one instance. I mean, it went on and on. My sign was the wrong color, and I've followed all this stuff in the paper, and I've kept my mouth shut. I figured my building's up, we're working, we're surviving with the economy. You folks don't need to know about this, but the money issue that somebody, and maybe one of you on the panel told the Chronicle about it, but it did cost us a lot of money. I wanted to have special lighting on the building. The west side of Elyria on Lowell Street. When I started breaking ground, the gentleman who owns the motorcycle place next door warned me that he has a lot of crime in his building. So I said, okay. I talked to a local security person, and they said it's the 3 L's for security: lights, lights, and lights. So we designed lights on the building to shine on the building so that if anybody wanted to break in, if it's lit up, no one's going to bother it. And I come to design review, and the lights were called, gosh, don't quote me, but I think it was called light pollution. So instead of having lights on the building, I had to go and put a state-of-the-art security in the building. Thank good, knock on wood, I haven't had a bit of problems with security. No one's bothered us. That was more money. I don't have the exact specifics. The money issue really bothered me. But it has cost, I'm sure, other businessmen in the area, and they probably have kept their mouths shut, but it's cost them money. And it's a shame that it did, but being born and raised in this community, and I was rather proud to bring the business back into the city, and I wanted to do it, so I just bit the bullet. The bottom line, I guess, that made me come here is that if I hadn't had to pay the extra money, the building would be mine now. I wouldn't have a mortgage on it in this economy, and it's not good to have a mortgage on a business in this type of economy. We're struggling. Every business is struggling. We're working, but we're struggling. It's truly a shame. But if you were to drive down, and I open invitation to everybody on the panel to come down Lowell Street. I don't have to tell you what my building looks like. You'll find it. It's the Taj Mahal on Lowell Street. I mean, there are so many empty buildings on that street that are dilapidated and let go, and there I sit, that's like a Statue of Liberty in New York. I mean, for the west side of Elyria. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I'm sure some of you have seen it. I'm proud of the building. Don't get me wrong. I think the design review probably works, but the fact that it doesn't cost builders or contractors money or business owners to put up a building is false. It does cost us a lot of money. There was things, I don't know, Mrs. Butler's gone now, but the handicapped situation. I've talked to several people, representatives for our district, that when I built the building, I had to have handicap this and handicap that, and believe me, I never questioned it. But when other businesses opened up, I did question why they did not have to be required to have, handicapped parking, handicapped restrooms, handicapped drinking fountains. I mean, the list went on and on and on. And I had to spend $1,800 for a drinking fountain that was turned on for the inspection, and it's been turned off ever since for the last 6 years. No one comes into my office in a wheelchair. The building inspector, and it wasn't Mr. Lahetta at the time, when they came to inspect it, my threshold on the front entranceway was a 1/4 inch too high. And a pre-constructed entrance door with side lights, which was very attractive, I had to cut the threshold out and lower it a 1/4 inch. Now, obviously, when the winter comes, I get snow inside my front entranceway because it's not an intact unit. But ADA is one thing, but the list just goes on and on and on. It's just more money, more money, more money. I love my building. I think your process needs, everybody's talking about streamlining and working it together. I got through it. It was not easy, but I got through it. But if I had to put a bottom line on it, yeah, it probably was close to $100,000 extra. And if I can digress a little bit, the company that came to design review in front of me, I'll never forget this story. 3 suits, 3 attorneys represented this company, and all they wanted approval was for their sign. And this is a national restaurant. And they talked for, very professional speaking, for an hour. And the committee decided that, no, we're not going to allow your sign. They slammed their briefcases closed, and out the door they went, and their final words were, we'll never put their restaurant in your community. They're here now, but it took them 4 years later, and that's Olive Garden. I mean, you can go anywhere in the country, and Olive Garden buildings, the sign out front are the same. And I had to follow that, and maybe everybody felt sorry for me, I don't know, but they made it pretty easy. But it was expensive, and that's the point that I'm here about not causing business owners money is a bunch of, it's not true, it's not true. I've had many customers talk to me about, how'd you ever get this approved? And I said, well, it's not easy, but other businesses come and go in this community, and you hear it on the street that, they would rather go, and I heard the comment earlier, they'd rather go to North Ridgeville or Avon. And we came very, very close to going to North Ridgeville and Taylor Woods. But being a citizen of Elyria all my life, I had to do it. I wanted to do it, but I guess I'm rambling. The big thing was just money. It did cost us a lot of money. And you just need to know that for somebody coming from outside the state that wants to bring their business to Elyria, I think you should open up with welcome arms and see what you can do to work with them rather than work against them. I mean, I live here and I almost left. I can't imagine somebody coming from another state wanting to bring their business here and have roadblock after roadblock or hurdle to jump to be able to get a building put in or their business built. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions from committee members or anybody on the panel?
Thank you for this opportunity.
Can I ask you one quick question? Could you spell your last name for us? For the record?
C-H-O-R-A-K.